Hey, hey, hey. Okay, there we go. Forgot the mic. I think everything else should be good. Double check. Got my headphones working too. All right. Hey, everybody. Everything sound good? I hope I'm live. I think it's live now. A little bit late there. All right. Oh, 0 viewers? Well, whatever. All right. Double check. Everything looks good on my end. Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope everything. Is the rain coming in too? Oof. See if I can. Turn it down a little bit. Anyway, hey everybody, how's everyone doing? This is Professor Kaiju with another Dynazenon stream. Hey, Ghost Tab, hey, nice to see you again. So yeah. Once again, anyone here or tuning in afterwards when this goes up on my channel. Spoiler, very spoiler heavy. I've got it floating on screen now. Is what I wanted to do last time. I don't mess with OBS too much. You don't hear any rain? Okay, good. That's good. It is currently raining, and there's like an AC in my window, so it's kind of I can hear it pretty well. But yeah, talking about Dynazenon episode 2, a lot of stuff goes down in this one. But again, if you're tuning in or watching this after it's been already done, definitely go check out the episode first, unless you don't care. I know some people don't. It's up on Funimation streaming right now. Yeah, there's as I've gotten to the second episode, I've noticed that I don't know if there's going to be too many more references, like a lot of references to the original Gridman. I feel like the first episode had a little chunk of them. I don't know how many references there are to like other mecha stuff and everything. Hey, Gojira fan 54. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, so this episode did drop a fair amount of things in it. Pretty happy with it. Episode was a lot better than one. Yeah, I think so too. I think this was better than the first episode. I have to set everything up for the show. So let me get into it. So one thing is, I really like the opening for Dynazenon now. Now we get to hear it. I don't know how I'd compare it with SSS Gridman's opening, but I really enjoyed this one too. So, like, if anything, I'd say like I feel like it's on par with it. So let me just start. So with that, like with the opening, I should probably do that. I'm really curious about the pendant we see here. I meant to double check before the stream, but I had a couple things come up that I think this might relate to Gridman when they found the dragon statue that inspired or kind of like brought Dynazenon to life. I just don't remember exactly. I feel like, I don't know, like it could be related to that, or it might be something new for the show. I'm very curious about that. Also in the opening, I trying to remember her name, because trying to remember all of their actual names this time. I think it's here. Chisei. Okay. So Chisei here, there's definitely something going on with her. I was kind of curious with the main characters before because they only need 4 people to pilot the mech. And her cousin, quote unquote, is the one that got pulled into the mech and not her. So I'm really curious about what's with her because we get this like reflection thing and it looks like she's in like maybe some type of like normal school outfit here, but then it changes like right after that. And then we get this like kind of Akane vibe from her, with like the evil eyes, like, opening up behind her, and they kind of look like they could be a mech or it could be a kaiju type of thing. Like maybe it's Dynazenon or something related to Dynazenon, or maybe it is like a kaiju or something related to that. So there's more to her than meets the eye. I'm really curious what it is exactly, because she definitely doesn't give off like any kind of vibes at all in these first 2 episodes that there's anything going on with her. Weird way to start episode 2. Opens with the dong, and then the episode plays with the song again when going over point of view employees. Yeah. I'm kind of curious about that too. Yeah, it's interesting. I also like to add, like, at the end of the opening, I really like the character designs for everyone here. There's like I like the colors on all of them, and I like the fact that they all are very uniquely designed. I feel like they're like a little bit more unique than the first season with SSS Gridman. I like how each one of them kind of has like one color that's kind of highlighted, like blue, or I guess she kind of has like a little bit of red, but I'm not really sure like if she's got one particular. Galma having like yellow, and Bowl Cut having kind of like a light green and everything. Chisei didn't look bitter in episode 2 about his cousin driving the car. Yeah, maybe she's getting jelly after. I don't know, maybe. I watched Godzilla Land when I was 17 years old back on May 27th, 17. Okay. Hey, Zachzilla. Nice to see you. That's cool. I have never watched Godzilla Land yet. Meant to. Hero Gangster. The ending of the opening reminds me of a Super Sentai opening show. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if that siren is coming through or not. I didn't know it was episode 1, but Bluta has a friend with a mask like Rika. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, some of the little parallels or differences between the groups. And again, we see the dragon statue at the end there. And again, I forgot to try to find the episode from Dynazenon. I mean, from the original Gridman. But yeah, this was a statue, and it involved like a mummy. And like a curse sort of thing. And the statue was with the mummy. And it inspired Dyna Dragon. I don't know if it like brought original Gridman show is a little weird. It goes between being kind of grounded, and then they throw in some random curveballs. They're just like, I guess there are mummies in this world now. The ending, I didn't notice episode 1. Okay, no one said anything different. Okay. So I like how, so when we start the episode, I really like how, I really need to remember his name. I know I joked about Bluta, but I guess I didn't have it, because I got a couple screenshots that had like them saying their names. Whatever. Yomagi, that's like his last name. So I like at the beginning of this episode that we see Yamagi kind of from his perspective of the last fight, as like I think before we just saw it through Galma Galma. We saw it through Galma's view as he was like fighting with Dynazenon, and then we kind of see it through Yamagi's as like he's like because I guess they're all like in their own little like kind of pocket like dimension sort of thing, like they each can see through the mech, and how he's just like getting afraid as like pieces of the mech combine and slam into to create Dynazenon and everything, and he reacts to all of it. Let's see. I know that Dynadragon involved taking references from the dinosaur fossil. Yeah, that was later on when they were... Because when they first made him, I think Dynadragon, what it was just like a cannon. They had just made like the central part with the head, and Gridman used it. I don't know if maybe he didn't use it. Maybe it was like a jet sort of thing. I don't remember if Gridman used it as an actual like fire cannon or it was like a vehicle, but it first came in as just the head, and then later the dinosaur fossil, and they were like, let's make it a vehicle, but I need to take inspiration. I know, let's combine the dragon head with a T-Rex body. And then we get this boxy, dumpy looking guy. Simping Galma on Bluetooth's mom. Shipping Galma with Bluetooth. Oh my god. That scene was great. Yeah, I really love the first scene with Yamagi grounded, hilarious red. Yeah, it's funny seeing that through a different perspective like that, and just not like doing the actual battling or anything. He's just like, what the fuck's going on? But then we jump to Chisei, and she steps on one of the little pearls, or like little things from the first episode, and again, like it's not 100%. It's not like 100% confirmed here, but like again, she finds this after the Kaiju's defeated. So I am really thinking that I might be right about the first episode where you see them, all those things get scattered everywhere. That these are like Kaiju forming from them. Or like maybe they're like little eggs or something or whatever. Like it's the source of the Kaiju, and it seems like they grow from these. Because I think I remember the villains that later they're talking about one of the Kaiju, and it like had like formed, and I feel like what they said, it made it sound like it had grown or something like that. So I have a good feeling that that's what these are. Let me see what the next one. Yeah, so then all the Dynazenon breaks up. Man, I know this is like marketing and like trying to sell stuff, but I think it's hilarious and just fun that each part of Dynazenon just turns into a toy. Like, I was on the fence before about getting that figure that they put out like way before Dynazenon. Like, you can pre-order Dynazenon, online. I'm like, I don't know how invested I am in this thing yet. I'm super invested in this thing. I want this thing. I'll sell like a kidney if I have to. Yeah, I forgot about the bazooka. Yeah. It was it is weird. It's weird how Dynadragon like came to exist in the original Gridman. Like, he started out as one piece and then grew into the dragon, basically. I really do hope they go into the historic info stuff with that statue thing. I'm curious about that, like if they'll talk more about it or not. Interesting how this episode was about Bluetooth's life goal getting in the way of his duties with Dynazenon gang. Yeah. It is interesting with that, like showing that dynamic. The pearls I saw from the last series, it was applied to make that's something that it was something I meant to say in my review of SSSS Gridman, and it was like those, like each of the Kaiju seemed to have like, and I think I don't remember if they were silver like that, or if they were yellow. But I was very curious about that each kaiju, when she shaped it, had like a little piece like that, almost like it was a core or something, to like how the kaiju grew. Like she needed that in order to help create them. You called it in episode 1. Yeah, they're the bad guys. Yeah. Good Smile has horrible track record with Gridman figures, cheap material. Yeah, I don't know. I never actually got any of the Gridman like combiner figures or anything like that from Good Smile. I just got the Figma SSSS Gridman and the Figma Grid Knight things, but like, I don't know. I hate it when I don't know if it's good material or not, because like I really don't want to drop like $200 on something and find out that it's like can barely do what they advertise it for. But anyway, took me by surprise. The world is used to kaiju incidents. They dress it. Yes, yeah. I think this is Yuta's world. I think it's kind of I kind of feel like it's clear now that they know, yeah. Everyone seems to actually know what kaiju are. Is it possible to Dynazenon recognize it? Yeah, I guess like Dynazenon just like needs everybody, like it combined and fought alright, but I feel like, I guess like maybe it needs like human spirit or something like that attached to it to fight and everything. So Kuyomi is the bowl cut, unemployed guy, and then Chisei is the small redhead girl who says that they're cousins, but I don't buy that. There's something going on there. And then Yume Minami. So Yume, it's also weird that every single now this is 3 series going on. The original Gridman had Yuka, who was the main girl in the trio, and then we had Yuta, the main guy, and now the next main girl like in the group is Yume. And I'm like, I wonder if that's just a theme of like a 4 letter or 2 syllable 2 character name that starts with a Y for Gridman or something. I don't know. I don't really understand like Japanese naming conventions, so I could be really way off the mark with that, but that's just kind of weird that we've had like 3 of them now like that. Right. Yeah, so yeah, they talk about the Kaiju geneticists. So yeah, I don't like to be like that guy of like, oh, you know, like I called it, but I was really curious who these guys were, because like, yeah, dropping, so just like in SSS Gridman, we get the villains dropped in episode 2. And considering, like, I don't know if they said how long the show's going to be. I was assuming it's going to be a 12-episode series. It kind of makes sense to show, you know, you don't have but so much time. You might as well just like, okay, we're going to jump into this. These are the bad guys. And it's also interesting because when you first see them, like, my first thought is, oh, they must be like the Neon Genesis Junior High School, you know, the assist team. But it's funny that they aren't, that they're the villains, and it's not just like one person. Like, it was Akane, and I mean, she had Alexis and everything, but it's interesting to see like an entire team now. This is something like I kind of had an idea, like I thought about some time ago, like, oh, what would I do if I was able to like make a Gridman, something within the Gridman universe, like a story-wise, and I had the idea of like being something like Akane and oh no, I'm forgetting his name. Akane and Takeshi. Like there would be multiple kids or like high school students, wherever, like they would kind of form like a team or something like that and be kind of like an antithesis to the main group. So it's kind of interesting to see these guys, that they're kind of like that. And then there are also kaiju tamers or kaiju users. And let me find it. They do the same thing that Galma did, except it actually worked on the kaiju. Instance domination, and then they just took control of our cicada samurai looking, really cool looking kaiju. This guy right now might be contender for my favorite. We'll see how the other designs go, but I think I really, I don't know, I just like I like the really like neon bright colors on some of these guys, and he just has like a, I don't know, the two scyther Pokemon sort of thing. It's really cool. Also, not access code. Yeah, access mode. I really like that. Yume means dream, I believe. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe there's some more meaning to like the names like that too. Yume no Hero. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's interesting. I could be wrong. I've heard the word Yume used for the word dream. Okay. The kaiju users have the same eye color as Anti when controlling the kaiju. Yeah, they do. The eugenics team look from another genre altogether. Yeah, they do a little bit. I think they're probably the most interesting. They're like really interesting in this. Because, like, let me see. I think I meant to have these like pulled up already, but yeah, the world is very interesting because like, yeah, we see earlier that everyone's like watching the fight on the news and everything, and that there's no memory wipe, there's no resetting this time. Kaiju are here, and the teacher just says, because of the kaiju incident, class has been called early and everything. So it seems to cement the fact that this, I am like 100% sure this is Yuta's world. Like, this is the same world we saw in SSSS Gridman, and that people know about this stuff, and this is just another part of that vast world that was created at the end of the series. And the thing is, Gridman's not there. Everyone left this world, to go back to the hyper world or wherever the fuck. I think it was called the hyper world. Gridman's homeland, home planet, and it's really interesting to do this instead, because they're not doing the whole like everything's back to normal, and that was like really the vibe that the original Gridman show had. Was kind of like the kaiju stuff happened, but like it was all in the digital world, like in these like digital planes. So at the end of the day, people, there was some chaos that was caused by like certain things, like, what the havoc that they wreaked inside the digital world, like, had real world consequences. But at the end of the day, there wasn't a giant monster or everything. So like each episode, it was just like everyone's like, having a good day, going to buy some food or whatever. So all that stuff. And it's just interesting to see them now be like, oh yeah, we actually have to deal with the real world consequences of, oh shit, it actually works. Zim! Hey Zim, how are you doing? Oh my god, my donation thing works. Zim, you didn't have to fucking give me $50. Jesus. Thank you. Holy shit, I appreciate it. I will never say you didn't do nothing for me. Good lord, man. I really appreciate it. Anyway, jeez. What the fuck was I saying? Whoo boy, big streamer bucks there. Seriously, Zim, thank you. Like that's you do not have to fucking do that. But I seriously appreciate it, man. All right, the eugenics team. It's interesting that the instance domination hand gesture is Star Trek's long live and prosper. Yeah, I don't know. Like this, that gesture is also done. Like it's it's a reference I know within, like the Ultra series to Alien Bolton, a kaiju, because he has these like claw hands. It's like what Akane did to in the first episode. She like makes this gesture, and it's supposed to be like Alien Bolton. I wouldn't be surprised if this gesture has means another thing too in Japanese culture or whatever, or something. You know, it could mean a lot of different things. But yeah, it's just weird. You know, it's just like a little thing like I'm sort of relaxed that the Bizarre group ain't supporters as seriously so far. Like my Gridman cats being able to fight on their own. Oh yeah. That I honestly appreciated that a lot, because I always felt like Utsume saying like, "We're the Gridman Alliance." I'm like, Utsume, I really understand that you and Rika there are like in spirit and heart. But yeah, it would be really cool if you actually could do something. Like in the original Gridman, the other two kids got to actually use like the controllers like they're using to pilot and move around the mechs and stuff. Like they did stuff for Gridman from afar. I forgot how much I like Star Driver. I don't know what that is, unless I'm just forgetting something. Zim, helping out my second son for what? Zim, don't start getting the monstrosities lore on. No, please. I don't need new people on here being like completely dumbfounded on what the fuck you're talking about. Oh god. Oh jeez. Man, I've lost my train of thought. All right, Kaiju. So yeah, it's really weird that it's interesting to see what they're going to do with this. Like they're dealing with the effects of Kaiju actually demolishing the city. Because then we jump to the best scene in the entire show. Man, Galma is just like, what's up, man? You know, two guys chilling in a hot tub, and they're not gay. Galma's just like such a fucking crazy. I love him. He's so fucking crazy. And then we get to see like the scar too, because I remember someone had asked about the scar. So it looks like it's a V and then another strike. Like if you flip it upside down, that's like the Roman numeral for 6, or it could be like flip the V up, it could be Roman numeral for 4. It could be supposed to be a Z, or it could just be absolutely nothing, or whatever transformer that Galm was based off of, because like I'm like 90% sure that they're all probably based off of Transformers, like the other cast was. Probably has something to do with that transformer that he's like based off of. Another Star Trek callback. Zim. Thank you. Like, I want to, like, heckle you, but, like, how the fuck do I heckle someone who just get... Oh, my God. Thank you. Zim, jeez. Oh, my God. Fuck. Whew. Man, I have, God, is it sad that, like, this is more than I've made on YouTube in the past, like, 5-6 months? Jeez Louise. Oh, really fucking appreciate that. Now making big streamer bucks, but being serious for once. Happy to support for really, Zim. Thank you. Like, there's fucking Nate. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, man. Like a lot. You really don't have to do that. I hope you're not doing that. You know, like if you've got the. I don't want to tell you what to do with your extra money, but like, you know, I don't want you to be like wasting it like on. No, I mean, I appreciate it. I'll take it if you're going to throw it at me, but, you know, make sure that, you know, you're actually, like, not starving or anything. Good Lord. call back to the eugenics team in Star Trek Con. So I was also eugenics who fought eugenics wars. It's supposed to be a clue for, it's like, so eugenics. Oh God, like I'm hoping I'm not gonna like mess this two up. Eugenics is normally a really bad thing. It's like if I remember correctly, because I have recently been watching a lot of different people talking about political stuff and whatever. I've actually watched some stuff on this. If I remember correctly, eugenics is like very much talking about like genes and like breeding and things. Like usually when you say someone's like a eugenicist or something like that, it sometimes means that they believe in like superior genes and people of high quality genes breeding and having children, and that if you don't have good genes or you have flaws like a disease or hereditary problems, that you shouldn't be part of that population and should not have children and should just die out, while only the superior gened people continue to give those superior genes down to their children and their children until we have a race of people who are better than, like we weed out the weak people. And I hope that everyone watching can realize that that's really fucked up. So already they have a good name going for them, if they're the villains. So I don't know if that means that they're looking for the most superior kaiju out of the bunch, but eugenesis, it's a broader thing. The best fan service that ain't the ideal fan service so far is the entire Gridman franchise. Now Bryce can start paying child support. Oh my God, Valerie, hi, how's it going? Don't pay I don't actually have a child. Don't. You heckle donations by saying, "Oh no, now I'm rich." Oh, I got paid yesterday. Don't worry, I budget out the super chats. I give it. Oh, okay. Well, I really appreciate it, man. I really do. They believe in master race, basically. Yes, exactly. Like Khan himself, who was a superhuman in Star Trek. Okay, so that does make sense. I've watched Eugenesis Avon Galleon. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably another thing. Yeah, like I said, like I've definitely have heard it talked about a little bit, but I don't know like 100%. But yeah, it's basically not a good thing. It's a very bad thing. Like the idea sounds good on paper of like, oh, well, these two people have really, this person is good with this, and these are good traits that you would want to have in child or pass down. But it's like, when you're talking about like forcing and then making sure that other people can't have children, it's like, no. And then I think sometimes it leads to, things like mass sterilization so you can have children. And it's like, no, please, no. Belief system, but yeah, you essentially cover eugenics from the context of the World War II bad man. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's, I don't want any of that. No one wants that. If you do, go away? Far away from here. Alright. So, yeah, eugenicists, yeah, they, I'm curious, like, what that does entail with them, like, what their real motives or whatever are, because then you have this line from the one guy who's taking control of the kaiju shall steer the world. So do they believe, like, there's several things I could imply from this. One, are they just trying to take over the world with kaiju because they can control kaiju? Or do they mean like the world should just be nothing but kaiju? I don't know. Their motives are still not 100% like what their real thing is, what their whole thing is. I feel like so far what I've seen is that in the first episode we see the woman, or the hand, I think it was the female of the group. It kind of looked like it was a feminine hand, but I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. dropping the little pearls, and they go flying through the city, float through the city, they stop, and each one is slowly, like, I don't know, maybe gathering energy, maybe just take some time, but growing into a full-size kaiju, and then they're seeing which ones are, like, actually worthy of whatever, you know, these superior kaijus, and they just start wreaking havoc. I don't know. It's there's a lot of unknown variables with them. I do know that, like, I like the idea of them. They do definitely come off as a very villainous and threatening group, especially since there are multiples of them, and especially since the sheer amount of, like, little pearls that they dropped. Like, I don't know how that's going to come into play. Like, are we only going to get to see a few of them? Or is there going to be maybe a point where a bunch of them start hatching? You know? We could get some, like, terrible things from that. I just showed up and y'all talk about each Hey, Space Tree. Hey, Will. How's it going? Yeah, I don't know if you've actually seen. I think you had said before. Not sure if you've seen the anime yet. So there are spoilers, but it's not the biggest spoiler. But, like, the bad guys are called the Kaiju eugenicists. So, you know, not completely unrelated. Not just like, you know, oh hey, I wonder how Bryce's stream is going, talking about Gridman, and then I'm just like. So the Holocaust, you know, and it's just like, I'm sorry, I thought I was going to watch, like, a really fun kaiju stream. I don't know what the fuck I just walked into, sort of deal, but it did have to actually relate to this. Not a lot of eugenics if you have one girl and three, oh my god, yeah, okay, well, I mean, apparently their thing is kaiju eugenics, so... Lamau, the kaiju eugenics are evil Pokemon trainers. Ha! Maybe. Yeah, that might be a good way to equate them. Eugenics is most... At its most, none bad is Plato's views on selective breeding, but the type they be referring to would be the bad men kind. It's probably thinking of a kaiju master. Yeah, I'm really curious, like, what the idea is, like, trying to make the perfect kaiju or something like that. See kaiju. Okay, alright, let's take this no seeing in chat. Alright, let's just I gotcha. So anyway, I got my vaccine appointment scheduled for May 1st. Great, good, I'm happy to hear it, man. Yeah, just keep social distancing, man, seriously. Or maybe a kaiju building series after Dynazenon with the pearls. That would be fun. Spoiler, it has a lizard in it. Okay. Alright, so the villains are there. They've been shown. So another thing, like, skipping backwards, I liked was the new transformation kind of sequence going. Because now we've got like a red fiery kind of, like, growing ring thing for the vehicles, and yeah, and as I said before, as one of you guys said before, access mode now instead of access flash, and they each bring up their own vehicles. Dyna Wing, and then he brings up his Dyna Soldier, and I love this because I was afraid that we weren't going to have this. I love especially with the old style Gridman of just raising the fist and burr, burr, burr up towards the camera. So I'm really happy they still brought this back for Dynazenon. And then they slap their mechs together, which is cool. I do like the fact that they can combine individually. Like, I'm assuming that Dyna Soldier is, like, the main part, so it looks like to me that Dyna Soldier is kind of taking over the spot of Gridman, because we've got Yamogi, aka Blue Yuta, taking control of that. It's the mech that looks like a person. It looks like it's basically Dynadragon in a human form. So he's kind of taking like the mainstay vehicle or thing from Gridman and using it. And then it looks like each piece can combine with him individually, just like they did it with SSS Gridman. And then they can come together to form one giant mech. I just still feel it's weird that they just blew the big mech at the very beginning, and then they're just like, sometimes we have to transform into smaller modes to beat the bad guys. Access Modo, yeah. A Kaiju Eugenics group, do they know the Kaijus never win and are mostly fodder? We have Godzilla as top dog, but he wins by beating Kaiju. Yeah, well, that's a good question, because they did already show in their world that they know about Ultraman, so it is curious. Like, they should know that Kaiju can't win, but you know, like, they probably were like, listen, you know, that's a show. This is the real world. You know, we'll show them what we can do or whatever. The transformation items being used freely into toys is awesome. It's also awesome seeing the characters funnily getting into the biz with the toys immediately. Yeah. It was, that was another, where is it? It was kind of cool seeing them. Oh no, did I not save these? Did I not have these screenshots in order? Oh no. Whatever, like, yeah, they to see them, like, individually, like, train with them and do it so quickly, and them seem to be so pretty proficient at it after just a couple training sessions. Yeah, the Kaiju Genesis watched too many Godzilla movies. Yeah, they believe that's what they want. They want the Godzilla of the Gridman world. You know, if they can just find the one big lizard kaiju, they'll win, you know? I like how Blonde Rika, big revelation is that she has a dead sister. Well, I mean, the whole thing was, like, I guess she was just opening up to Yomogi. It'll be Yomogi. Yeah, Yomogi. And just, like, you know, opening up a little bit because she's got that whole weird thing going on with her. It's interesting to see her open up more, and that Yomogi was the one who was ditching on the training because he has to actually, you know, has a job, a legit job. Dynadragon jumping into the air is pretty much a reference to Gridman jumping at the beginning of King Gridman transformation. Oh, yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, jumping up and then... so this has stuff from the original Gridman series still, right? Or is it completely original? So, William, a lot of it is original, but, like, the main mech, is based off of, like, the old school, Dynadragon, just, like, redone stuff with it. So instead now of just being a big dragon that could combine with Gridman, it's now like its own mech that has a smaller Dyna-human dragon mech in it, and then can combine into a larger mech. If that made any sense. So there's still some original Gridman stuff in it, but it just does not have, like, Gridman himself in it. But Dynadragon was in, like, the original Gridman series for about, like, half the series or so, and it was like it was a strong power up and equipment thing for Gridman. So this is just kind of based off of Dynadragon, which I'm really happy about, because that was I was really curious when I was watching SSS Gridman. I was just like, oh, no Dynadragon? Okay. I guess he just kind of got left behind, and then they just made a whole nother series about him. They flip the genre again. Dynazenon didn't finish the monster vehicles. Yeah, that was interesting that the individual vehicles did that. The train scene basically was Yomogi, so how are you? Yeah, and then Minami, my sister is dead. Yeah... I mean, she's a weird one. She's obviously got some issues, so it was just, I guess she decided, no, I'm just going to open up right now. And Yomogi was like, oh, it's a lot to drop on someone out of the blue. So if SSSS Dynazenon comes into Super Robot Wars, the full mecha better be able to separate in the game. Oh, in the game. Oh, that'd be cool. So do you like the series so far? Yes, I really do enjoy the series so far, Space 3D. It's been really good. The first episode was good. The second episode has been better. Yeah, I'm honestly really curious where it's gonna go because SSSS Gridman followed a lot of the same stuff that Gridman, the original show, did. There were some twists and turns, but Alexis was very much like Khan Digifire, the original villain from the original Gridman. So I'm really curious, like, what the end boss is going to be, like what the end battle might be like, and how things go from here. So I'm really curious to see like all the different things they're going to do with it. The only thing that I'm slightly disappointed with it, and I already knew this was going to happen, but I'm just sad that it doesn't have like Gridman or someone like a Gridman, because there was going to be, if there had been a second season of the original Gridman, they were going to have Gridman Sigma come in, which was going to be Gridman's brother. So, and again, like, the show's not over. They could pull some crazy stuff out at the end or something. I'm still kind of thinking Gridman's gonna show up at some point, or someone from the original series. So there's a lot of stuff that could happen. And that also reminds me of, I don't think he says it. I know I saved a screenshot of it. That it reminds me of Galma. Where did I get? Oh, here. Because he takes his vehicle after, it transforms into the toy and everything, and says, why did that person trust you with me? And I am really curious, like, was it Gridman? Like, I'm curious if, like, maybe Gridman, like, they supposedly blasted off, but, like, what if Gridman, like, before fully leaving, like, or maybe he accidentally came back to the world, and, like, where was Dynadragon the entire time? Maybe he decided to, like, give Dynadragon to someone that he trusted, that he thought, like, could, like, help protect this place in Gridman's, in place of Gridman, or in case other stuff happened. Because we know Auntie's still in this world, but, like, like, they're, whatever, like, more people defending the world, is always better. So I'm really curious when he says that person, or maybe it's someone else, another mysterious unknown figure. But this, that line really, really curious about it. So then, we've got, and the other thing too, like, about the world not resetting, they really lean into that, showing the destruction and everything that happened with the last Kaiju battle. And, like, it reminds me of anyone who's here who's seen it, like, it just reminds me of Shin Godzilla a little bit, because they had a similar scene of the government workers, like, surveying everything that had happened when Godzilla first attacked Japan. And it kind of, there was that reminiscent, it had that same vibe to me. Like, they, Yume here wanted them to go and actually, like, look at the place where the Kaiju fought. And I kind of feel like it was one of those, like, she kind of wanted to see everything that happened, and just kind of, like, almost like a reminder of, like, this is what happens when Kaiju attack, and we need to keep, like, fighting, to protect this place and everything. Because, like, I mean, like, how many people died in here? I don't know, but probably a fair amount. Let me see. Uh, I remember the theories of Rika's mom being Dynadragon still. That was a theory? Jeez Louise. That's why listen, I'm not trying to like knock people for theories, but I just when you do theories like so early on in a show when you've had nothing like I no, that's not fair because that doesn't really make sense. I just don't like theorizing that much unless it's like I just don't like theorizing like much at all on most things because something like you can unless you have like a lot of basis in something like you could maybe there are certain things. Okay, let me try to rephrase that. There are certain things you can theorize on, but you need like a fair amount of stuff to base it off of, and I just don't feel like randomly Rika's mom was Dynadragon. I'm like, what was that based off of? Uh, um, let me see here. I mean, Yamoki did ask Yume what made her break prompts. Oh, yeah, I guess she was answering that. Best part is that Yume didn't give any context either. She just said she had a dead sister. Yeah. I liked how the people can't tell between a Kaiju and Dynazenon. I thought they would have compared Dynazenon robot mode to Gridman. You would think, but like some of the Kaiju have, well, Mecha Googleus right there. He was like all mechanized. Like there's some of the Kaiju kind of look like they could be a robot, but yeah, I feel like the way that Dynazenon looks comes off super robotic. But like they're also not really used to this shit really, so the boss should be Bowser. Just Bowser, with no explanation, and now he has a gun. Thank you, William. I really that sure would be a twist that no one saw coming. I still don't hope Gridman Sigma gets his own show, though he needs at least 24 episodes from all the waiting he has to do. That's something that they could do. That could be like, that could be, if they keep doing like Gridman universe stuff, that could be something they could do. They could do an anime spin-off of like actual like Gridman Sigma. I'd enjoy that. I still do hope Gridman... Okay, I said that. Looked like the eugenics team didn't create the Kaiju. They just took over and controlled it. Yeah, I'm still thinking, like, the Kaiju grew from those little pearls. But, like, I think that they don't have full control over, like, the growing process. Like, I'm curious if, like, there's something else to, like, why they had to scatter them like that for the Kaiju to grow or whatever, or unless maybe they just wanted to do that because Kaiju destroy cities and they don't care and that's just their thing. They're just like, let's just have these Kaiju just pop up out of absolutely nowhere and just wreak havoc. The dragon statue that spawned Dynazenon was the same statue from the Chinese Mummy episode of OG Gridman, so the other Gridman or Sigma is possible with it. Yeah, I was talking about that before. Yeah, there's always possible that it could have been one of them. I'm thinking it was like Gridman or something, or Sigma. Maybe it's Sigma since something bad is happening in the digital world. A hyper agent would have arrived by now. Maybe Sigma came and failed and asked Galma to take help, giving him a robot to it. Maybe. The thing is, they have never really expanded on Gridman's whole world or his group that he's part of at all. They've just had the whole thing. I'm a hyper agent. Basically like a cop or something like that, like a defender, and they've really never done anything else with it. So there is a lot to play with. They could be another grid person, other than those two. Maybe the yellow bandages on Gamo's outfit is also the mummy reference. Someone, I think, said that. I don't remember where. I think it might have been on Twitter or something. I saw someone had mentioned that, and like, yeah, I never thought about that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a reference. It's either a reference to the mummy or again to whatever transformer that he is most likely his design is based off of. Yo, you might be onto something. It would be a really cool reference. The theory of Rika's mom being Dynadragon was from her having orange eyes whenever. Yeah, someone had said, a guy on Twitter, Ultraman Ultimo, who did I got some 3D like render animations from him for my Gridman review. Really cool guy. He, I think, had said that the audio dramas that they have, that I don't know if they've actually been fully translated ever for, English or any other language, but I think in one of them it was revealed that Shrika's mom might have actually been like a hyper agent too. So I don't know. There's some extra lore that I know we've missed over here if you haven't read anything else into it. I have a theory. Rika's mom is the man behind the slot space tree. No, don't start with the FNAF. I liked how Yume didn't tell Bluto what to do, but showed him what his decision meant to people around him. Yeah, that's probably what it was. She was trying to show him. Yeah, it's like, listen, I know that having a job is really cool and stuff, but saving the city and, protecting people might be a little bit better. And, I don't know. It probably is a more meaningful job in the long run. Gridman, I'm a hyper agent and I have a non-dead brother. Okay, so yeah, or honestly at this point a non-existent brother, because I'm not even sure if Gridman Sigma is officially canon yet. Five Nights at Bryce's, no, Space Tree, why? God. All right. So, also randomly, I just like how that they kind of like peek their heads out of their vehicles, just go boop. The little light on there. It's interesting how the vehicles like kind of interact. Also, great opening shot when they transform and come in onto the scene with the explosion. Also, like, this scene just had some of the music was very much like something that sounded like it would have come from Ultraman or a Godzilla movie. Kind of had like that jazzy kind of feel to it around this point. Having a job is probably pretty cool, Bryce 2021. Yeah, it probably is. So I really like I said, I really like this Kaiju's design. He opens his wings. I pulled them out of order. He opens his wings up, and then he warps. So at first I thought it was speed, but so he legitimately warps. So it looks like they might actually have each Kaiju have an individual ability. Like the first Kaiju had gravity warping abilities. Now this one, gravity controlling abilities. Now this guy can literally warp or teleport from one place to another. And he was just like laying out Dynazenon's ass. As you can, I didn't want to open up and pay. Just like flat on his ass. Not good. Not a good look. Let me see. I think it's this. God damn it. Stop it. I am professional here. I've never, okay, like in this context, I get it. Like, also, okay, first of all, too, like this, I like the fact that this guy looks like he has like a samurai motif going on with, like the shoulder pads and the horns on like the crown and everything. He looks like a fucking samurai. I usually never get the whole, we're in a big strong thing, let's break up into smaller weaker things to defeat the guy. But this one made sense because Dynazenon was like very sluggish compared to this guy, and like since he can move around and teleport, it makes more sense to have like 4 individual things trying to attack the Kaiju. But unfortunately, because Yamogi kept skipping out because he had to actually, work for food and money and all that stuff, didn't know what to do. And that leads to like one of my favorite scenes in this entire episode, and that is just him flailing with the arms of Dyna Soldier in the background, just going around and around, revolving around. like just like not knowing how to do anything with his mech, and then like it teleports right into his grasp, and then he misses. Also, this guy had like some serious like firepower too. I like the fact that like he has the sword bits, but like most of the time he doesn't even use them. It's just like lasers usually. And then we get to, let's see. Yeah, they figure out it's the wings on the mech, on the Kaiju. And then they have their really cool, we're now Dyna Soldier Wing. They added lens flare. Yeah, and yeah, it was really interesting, like how they grab onto him, and instead of like the full mech, they toss him up in the air, and then he just gets utterly wasted by Galma's like boat unit with like the 50 different missiles. Good stuff. So yeah, it's kind of neat too, seeing like the individual vehicles like do some stuff, like you like was said before, because I don't really think like any vehicle in SS Gridman ever did a finishing blow. It was always a combined, like it had to at least be Gridman or Gridman combined with one vehicle to do anything. So, you know, Dyna Wing Soldier here, or Dyna Soldier Wing, whatever, did do a lot, but it didn't do the finishing blow. And it was like the boat with its own like missiles that actually defeated it in the end. I'm also like a sucker for like those shots like at the end when they've defeated the Kaiju or defeated the enemy, and just like that nice little like the sun or the explosion is shining, just a nice little shot. I loved how the adult car driver is now yeah. It was funny how he was just like, wait, am I getting paid for this? Oh wait, that means I'm employed? Gridman Sigma is only canon so far in the magazine stories. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting of them to like actually introduce him into one of these shows. He gets a sick robot car and fights monsters. I wish I had. So do I. So do I. Are they still animated like Suits, or is it more standard anime? I don't. Oh, you mean like the way that they move? No, the Kaiju seem to be coming off more like just monsters, not like men in suits. Like they were with the first series, unless like I've seriously missed something. It just comes off as just like destruction and Kaiju stuff, which is a little disappointing, but eh. The Kaijus now have powers. They become the Brotherhood of Mutant Kaiju. The approach of splitting made sense. Cover more ground. Yeah. I just mean like, yeah, a lot of the times I see that happen in a show, and it just never makes a whole lot of sense to me. But in this context, it did make sense. Swinging his arms randomly was one of the funniest parts. Yeah, I love how Yomogi went from flailing his arms around to all of a sudden doing the anime Getai. Yeah, he finally decided to like, just like out of nowhere, it was like, oh, I know how to do it now. He did practice the Getai before once. Oh yeah, they did combine before. Yeah, so basically, why is my window not coming up? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, here we go. So yeah, that was basically the episode. So, and then they look at uh, their victorious battle. Get to see the actual like size and scope of these vehicles. They are very big. And then Galma gets called out. Wait, what was this one? Oh, right. They're able to save the bus during the fight, which was like a big point in their, like, Yomogi being like, I gotta at least save, like, someone in this battle. And then Galma gets called out, and we get to see the Kaiju eugenicists, Kaiju users just like Galma. Yeah, I'm really curious what their whole deal is. What their whole ideas, like what their plan is and everything. I guess we'll find out at some point. So, seeing the villains get dropped, and a little bit more about Yume and her deal is interesting. I really am curious about Chisei, because like from that intro, it seems like she's got something going on. So this did shed a little bit of light on like what we're dealing with, but like again, leaves plenty of extra questions for the show. I'm really curious to see like where it goes from here, like what the end game of everything is. Like since I'm pretty sure this is like the world Yuta and everybody was from, like, do they really plan on like using these kaiju to try to take over the world or do some type of like destruction, or like or do they think like kaiju are like tools to be used? Like I don't know, to like, or maybe like, do they think that the kaiju could be used to like further mankind or something? I don't know. I'm curious to see what their crazy villainous like goals and ideas are. The return of thick I know. I've already seen the jokes about them. God. What I really love about this episode is that so far it encompasses everything that I liked about Gridman in terms of the teamwork and how the daily lives are explored in a unique way. Yeah. It's been... I do like seeing like them do like their slice of life stuff, but then dealing with the kaiju stuff and working together. That's one thing I really felt was lackluster with SSS Gridman. Like, it was something that had bothered me, just like that Utsume and Rika really didn't do a whole lot, but like if each one of these guys is like having to like control their own unit and everything, their vehicle, it feels more like an actual team, an actual alliance together. Eugenics team have their own thick thighs. Yeah, I know. Jesus. To get those thighs, you have to convert to Kaiju eugenics. Oh my god. Maybe more like thigh eugenicism or something. So, in conclusion, I think episode 2 of Dynazenon is significantly better than the first episode, and I liked the first episode just the way it was. So it's interesting to see all these characters, a little bit more of their personal lives, who they are. I hope that each one of them gets enough time to like get characterization for each one of them, to know a bit more about each one. And yeah, just finding out more about like what the villain's plans are, Chisei and what her deal is, what the pearls actually are. Are they, something that's growing the kaiju or not? Who gave Galma the statue? All these and more hopefully answered in the next several episodes or whatever. Yeah. Based on Auntie's end in Gridman, Eugenics team might see Auntie or them as the next evolution of humanity. Oh, that's a good idea. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, Auntie was a kaiju who kind of has become human, mostly. So that would be interesting if they used that type of like logic like from him. Yeah, I really hope Auntie does make an appearance in Dynazenon. I'm gonna be kind of disappointed if he doesn't, because like he had a lot of potential, and I was kind of hoping that he might show up to like help or something. I just feel like it'd be a big waste to me just to like drop Grid Knight and everything completely, especially if they're in the same world. But yeah, I don't know how much to say about the episode. I liked it, so there's that. And yeah, still got little tidbits of like original Gridmans littered in there, but nowhere near as much as Quadruple S did. So guys, I've been going. Let's see, it's been a little over an hour. So I'm trying to keep these streams like try not to go too long. So yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on here. I hope you got something out of it, going over this stuff. It's, I feel like this show, I feel like this show could definitely do some interesting things and make me really enjoy it. But, these guys, like, definitely curious about them. And I'm hoping that, like, whatever they are or whatever they do is, I kind of hope it's a little bit batshit, because kind of hoping this anime goes in some, like, weird directions at the end or something. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. I hope you've gotten something out of this. I'm trying to stream every Friday, sometime around like 8 or 9 p.m. the day of, when the next episode drops. So next Friday I should be doing the same thing, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., something around there. And if you enjoyed, subscribe, like this stream, ring that notification bell, all that stuff to get notified, and blah, 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 all that garbage. But seriously, if you did enjoy this, I'll be here next Friday. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys have a good night. And remember, thick thighs are temporary, okay? Gridman is forever. Alright. Okay. I think that's a good way to end out. Alright. I love you guys.